In this video, we have got a 100 plus kill game with the PSR sniper rifle on Blackwell Field's Conquest. As always, stick around. In just a moment's time, I'm going to get straight into the pros and cons of this gun, and of course, how to do well with this gun while playing on this game mode of Conquest on this map of Blackwell Fields. Do check out the top pinned comment or the description for the gun build and all the attachments which I'm using on this gun. And before I get into the pros and cons, I want to give a heads up to say apologies for how negative this review is going to seem of this gun, but I'm being genuinely honest in terms of my analysis of the gun. And I want to just say how much of a nightmare it was to get this 100 kill game with this gun. This is probably the hardest gun I've had to do out of all the guns in the game. I literally had this gun to level 50 before I hit it. I had multiple games where I was 98 kills or 99 kills and wasn't able to hit the 100. And that's also with knowledge of the fact that as of the time of this gameplay, I don't even know if it's been fixed yet, assist as kill for getting 75 damage on an enemy and your teammates finishing them off did not count as a kill, which of course otherwise would have pushed me in multiple instances over the 100 kill mark. And as well, you've got hit registration issues, which you'll see in some slow-mo clips towards the end, where you can clearly see me multiple times hitting a running enemy and blood is spraying up in the air, but I'm not doing any damage. And so it'll seem like a lot of bullets throughout the course of this gameplay look exactly on target, but don't do any damage. So this was an absolute nightmare. But without further ado, let's get straight into the one and only pro of the PSR, which isn't really even a pro. So, for the sake of putting at least one thing on the list of pros, and trust me, I genuinely have thought pretty hard about what sort of pros you would put against this gun. If you do have any, then do put them in the comments below. But pretty much the only pro you can really say about the PSR is that with the largest magazine size possible, you can get 11 rounds. Which means you can chain up a lot of one-shot kills, of course, when using the sweet spot mechanic. However, I wouldn't really class this as a standout pro, given that the SV98 also has, capacity of 11 rounds, and the Mini Scout as well, at 15 to 16 rounds. So it's not really a best-in-class standout pro out of all the snipers. Now we're going to move straight on to the very long list of cons, and I'll try to get through this as quickly and efficiently as I can. But starting straight off, that is going to be with the sweet spot mechanic, which comes in at a range of 100 to 150 meters on the PSR, which is arguably the worst sweet spot range in the game, given how small most of the maps are in Battlefield 6, and even in general on large maps like Blackwell Fields. The engagement ranges is typically going to be, within 100 meters. So you're very rarely going to be getting one-shot kills, which ultimately means you're going to get an absolute crap ton of hit markers, which you will see again throughout the course of the clips in this game. What makes this extra frustrating is you end up getting a lot more hit markers than you expect, because when using a sniper, you need to be, in and around or behind cover or a good strategic position, which is on, a high bit of ground, like where I am right now, which typically means you having to stay at certain points on the map to be able to do well with the gun. And unfortunately, all the strategic points on this specific map, like where I just was a second ago, and where I am now, are all within 100 meters of the two main areas you're going to get kills from, which is the flag on the right of C, the flag, of course, the back of the spawn, as well as the flag on my left there of D. So essentially, you're either going to have to get headshots, which is a lot more difficult on this game versus previous games, or go for the sweet spot mechanic, which is very, very ineffective, as I've just explained with this gun. And you only really have to go and look at my other 100 plus kill game video with the ESR sniper on this map, where I pretty much racked up 139 kills, pretty much 150. I'm pausing there because if you rewind, you'll see I literally got hit and there was blood spraying on the screen. So an example there of an enemy hitting me where I probably should have died. But as I was just saying, go and watch the ESR video where I basically did 140 to 150 kills. because the sweet spot range of the ESR is 75 to 120, which is absolutely perfect for this map and the positions which you're going to be holding. In terms of other cons of the PSR, it has a bullet velocity of 900 meters a second, which is the joint lowest in terms of all the sniper rifles. It's not, really bad, but again, it's not the best. In terms of reload time, it has a reload time of 3.35 seconds in this current gun build, and generally, as standard as well from all the snipers, this does have the slowest reload as well. The ADS time of the PSR is also at 300 milliseconds, which is also the slowest ADS time out of all the sniper rifles. In terms of control and mobility stats, it is also the lowest in both categories, with the values of 22 and 40 out of all other sniper rifles. And the rate of fire of 38 is also the joint lowest out of all the sniper rifles. As a result of this very slow fire rate, you have to pretty much put as an attachment on this gun the ADS bolt, which allows you, of course, to reload and cock the bolt while you're ADS. It's all, generally that is a good attachment to have on these guns. It does cost a lot of points. It costs 30 points to put this attachment on the gun. And the reason why I mention that, if you go and watch the ESR 100 plus video where I pretty much did 140 kills, that gun build on the ESR did not need to have this attachment. So because this gun is so slow and sluggish, it's pretty much a must-have forceful attachment, even if it is a good attachment to have. Okay, so that pretty much covers the pros and cons of the PSR, or rather pretty much just the cons. But let's now get into how to use the PSR generally to do well on this map, on this mode, and of course, 1, to do well for yourself, but 2, also to do well for the team. As you can see throughout the majority of the clips in this video, as well as the ESR one, the two main areas you're pretty much going to be patrolling is going to be this, small hill or mountain range, whatever you want to call it here, which is on screen. And very often you can also push over to the little hill, which is to the right of me there, in between C flag and the spawn flag of A. This is pretty much standard positioning if you are a sniper, to get a bit of high ground, to be able to see the majority of things moving, enemies moving in the distance, to be able to have targets to shoot at, and of course staying at the optimal range away from close to mid-range gunfights where you are going to die and obviously lose. This can be a very tricky map to stay alive on, as you see as well at the end of some of these clips where I'm dying, because there are so many vehicles raining down explosives, driving over the edge of this hill without you even being able to hear them, or even, vehicles in the air, again, also raining down gunfire on you, while you're also trying to stay continuously moving to try and avoid other snipers who are also off in the distance. Therefore, it's absolutely paramount that you try and recognize where the areas of threats are, where the enemies are flowing to and from, so that you can stay on the correct side of this hill. You effectively got 3 sort of points you can stand around on that hill, so just make sure you stand on the right side, only peek your head up for a short amount of time, and of course only peek your body up above the ridge of that hill, the smallest amount possible, while also having, hot dancing feet like you're standing on lava, always constantly moving and shifting side to side, so that if a sniper does take a pot shot at you, it's not going to result in, a guaranteed headshot. As another tip to do well with this gun, because of the frustration, as I mentioned, of the sweet spot mechanic being 100 to 150 meters, always make sure you are pinging, or at least, looking at the flags to check the distance, or even looking at, teammates to see how far away they are, so that if you need to, you can move forwards or push backwards to be at that sweet spot range to be able to get easy one-shot kills. Because otherwise, landing headshots, of course, is going to be 2, 3, 4 times as hard than simply just aiming at the chest. And lastly, in terms of doing as well as you can for your team, it is going to mean staying as long as you possibly can in these high areas on the hill, because you can see pretty clearly all the main key flags around it. You can protect your spawn flags of B and A, which are behind me, while also being able to directly spot and cut off the flow of enemies coming from D flag there, of course, to go to our spawn flags, or pretty much cut them off going from E to C. And this will ultimately give your team the biggest impact in terms of controlling 3 out of the 6 flags on the map. As I've just said, your 2 spawn flags, as well as pretty much C flag to the right of me, which is technically our middle flag, whereas D flag is going to be their middle flag. And of course, this allows your team then to try and push forward and take out the enemy's flags, instead of trying to worry about our spawn flags. But yeah, that pretty much covers this video for the PSR. I know, a pretty negative one, but trying to be as honest as I possibly can in my analysis. And as the final thing, as I promised at the start of the video, you'll see as the clip switches over in just a few seconds time, you will see here right now an example of 2 shots on this guy, where you can clearly see the blood coming up into the air as I hit him, before the 3rd shot finally was a sweet spot shot, getting the 1-shot kill. But yeah, as you can see there, I was experiencing this frustration for hours and hours and hours trying to hit this gameplay. But hopefully that is going to be fully fixed soon. But yeah, if you have watched this far, please smash a like for me, and I'll see you on the next video.